3, 2, 1.
Hey, best
Hey, best
friends.
friends. We're back. We're back with Truth Be Told with Kyle and Dawn. And
We're back with someone who we haven't spoken to on the podcast for over 2
yeah,
years.
2023,
So
January. Wow. I didn't
buckle
even
up.
realize when I invited her back, I thought it had been like maybe a year. I was like, wow, time flew. Before we get started, make sure you guys are subscribing, sharing, give us some reviews.
Please,
That helps us grow. And let's get started.
let's get
So,
started.
Sydney, she's back. Tell us just a little intro in case people did not hear your story the first time, who you are, and we'll get started.
Hi, you guys. I am Sydney Neader. I am now 29 years old. I am a recovering addict, and I am a mom of two boys and newly engaged. So I've got a lot of stuff going on.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Jeez.
We were just talking beforehand a little bit before we started recording with Sydney about all of the
All
things
the
that have
changes.
changed. And we aim with this podcast, Truth Be Told, to really tell the truth
Hmm.
about how struggles happen, but also the real story about how struggles become hope
Yes.
and amazing things. And that's what we're going to go over today with Sydney.
Yeah. And if you didn't listen to her story, go back to season 1. There's 3 episodes. She talks about her life with addiction, and her boyfriend, who now fiance,
Yeah.
has dealt with addiction. And so if you're in that place, go listen to her story a little bit and how she got out of that. But now here we are, fast forward. All right. So where we left you last was you were about to speak on stage. Like, that was new to you. And I know you told me something right before this. So go ahead and share what you want to share from there.
Yeah, so I'm so grateful to be on here. Like they said last time, it's kind of funny because I was listening to it last night a little bit, and just in my voice, like you can just tell how much has changed. And the coolest thing ever is that I was so confident on the last podcast, and it's so just funny because I was in this space where like I knew things were gonna get better, but I was also like finally in a place in my life where I was okay with where I was at back then too.
Okay.
Hmm.
But always striving for more, right? And so I really, after that podcast, I had spoke on stage for the first time, and that kind of just took off where I felt that I could officially give everything to just faith and start manifesting exactly what I wanted in life. And that's exactly what I did. I got off of that stage and I just started writing down all the things that I wanted, and I started working towards them. And you guys, there has been a huge roller coaster in the past 2 years. Like, it hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows. It's very much so remembering like those nights of just like crying and feeling like nothing was working, and
Yeah.
feeling like I wasn't getting anywhere, and feeling
Hmm.
like, are these things for me? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Like, we had moved from Tennessee back to Wisconsin. And I had joined my new company, Ariel, and I just wanted to make sure that I was going in all the right directions. And sometimes
Hmm.
when you're on the road to like the best yet that's yet to come, it feels really sticky and it feels
Yes.
really messy. And that's
Uh,
where I was at right after that podcast. And so I'm
Mm.
just so grateful to be back on here, you guys. Um, Honestly, in the past 2 years, thinking about all the things that have happened, I really don't even know where to start, other than the fact that I spoke on stage for that first time. And then I was able to speak on stage 3 more times.
Woo!
And I've been on
Yeah.
the stage, I don't even know how many times,
yeah.
like been on it itself. So that is such a blessing because I remember before going on stage that first time that I was very like didn't think that I would be that
Yes.
person. And so
Yep.
Yes.
watching me go on there multiple times and tracing back and looking back at that, I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And it feels the same every time you get up there. Like, it feels
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm
Yeah.
doing this. Like, this
Yes.
is
Yep.
amazing. But then
Yep.
after that, I got engaged to
Woo!
Blake, and we
Hey.
actually just celebrated his 5 years clean.
Oh, that's amazing.
Um,
I was just about to ask that.
yes,
Yay, Blake.
Yes.
That's awesome.
yeah, I know, and so grateful for that. So yeah, we celebrated 5 years clean. I will have Either 9 or 10 years. I honestly can't count anymore at this point. Like, it's getting so far from where it used to be.
And that's an
I mean,
But
that's
I'll
an
amazing
have that.
thing.
amazing thing to say right there. Like, it's been so long, I don't even remember.
I know. And I've waited to get to that point, right? Like I've worked to get to that point of
Mm,
like, how
yeah.
long has it been? Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'll have 9 or 10 years in June. And then I also turned 30 in June. So the big 30, which I
Oh
was
my
so
gosh.
scared of before.
Girl, I'm gonna be the big 40 next year. So like
I'm
And your
halfway
I'm
through
30s
I'm
the
were
like
40s,
amazing,
so
right?
should be all right.
the 30s were my absolute favorite years. So you're about to enter your wisdom years. That's what I felt like. I
Yes.
swear to God, like the wisdom just started flowing. The 20s, I was like, I'm done with that crap. Like, let's
Yes.
grow up and put our big girl panties on. Like, I feel like the 30s were it for me. So I think you're about to enter a really good season.
Well, let's go because I feel like I am definitely on that track. I feel like God has shown me a couple of months before turning 30 that, I had this timeline growing up, right? I feel like a lot of us do, and we
Yeah.
want certain things by certain times.
Yes.
And I didn't hit that, and that's okay. But I'm realizing now that everything happened in its perfect timing. And
Yep.
so
Yeah.
all the things that I might have wanted maybe weren't for me at those times.
Yep.
So turned 30 in June. And then in July, I am getting married to Blake, and I'm so excited. This wedding is turning into just the dream wedding that I've always wanted.
Aw.
That's
And
good.
I'm so grateful for that. And
Can I
then,
can I
yeah,
ask one quick like poke at you question?
yes.
Right now with the story that you're in and having all the hope and this beautiful stuff and the wedding that's coming, what is one statement you would say to yourself 2 years ago, the person who was on that
Mhm.
podcast, that that would give them the empowerment and the vision to be able to see where you're at right now?
Hmm.
Wow. I
That's a good
would
question.
say, yeah, that's loaded. That makes me
Yeah.
emotional even just thinking about. But honestly, I remember this one moment where I was in my bathroom crying, just like sobbing on my knees, just questioning everything, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything in life. Like it felt at that time like nothing was going right. And this was after kind of the convention blues, right?
Yeah.
Like you
Okay.
get
Yeah.
Yep.
home
Yes.
from all the
Yep.
fun stuff
I feel you.
and
It's that dopamine rush of being with everybody and
yes,
then you get home and all of a sudden it's just like, ugh, life.
yes. And I was like, I think I need to move to Florida. Like I was like, I was like,
Yeah.
listen, like I no, but I just remember that moment. And so I would tell that girl that those moments of me crying were actually the moments that I'm going to look back on and be grateful most for where I'm at now. So just
Mm,
keep going, like pick
mm,
yourself up and keep going. And
mhm.
I knew
Yeah.
where I wanted to be. I knew where I was headed. It was a matter of did I think I was worth it or not? Really is what
Yes.
that was.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yes, you are worth it and keep going.
I
Yes.
love that.
Good
That's
answer.
a great answer for that, and thank you. I do that sometimes, and that was just a thought that came up to my mind. Now continue on where you were. You guys are getting married. How is this wedding gonna be?
So we are going to, what's really fun is because of my career, I have people from all over that are coming, which is
Yep.
so awesome because to me, it just feels like I get to entertain a little bit and I love doing that. And
Yep.
nobody's really gonna like just come pop into Wisconsin, like, So I'm just excited to have everybody in one spot. Blake's family is from the South, and so they're coming to Wisconsin to celebrate. Um, but I think one of the biggest things is I thought this was going to be like a really stressful thing. Like everyone talks about like
Mhm.
the wedding
Yes.
being so stressful, but
Yeah.
for me, I feel like me and Blake did a really good job of picking the venue that we knew we weren't going to have to do a lot of work with, so that kind of like
Good.
took things out of the mix, and so
Yep.
we were really able to like enjoy the rest of this. I don't really have to think about a lot of like the really small things, like decorations are going to be here and there. It's not like I need to decorate the whole thing and all of
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
stuff. So it's been a lot less stressful than I thought it would be. And I'm honestly just really excited. Like after 7 years of being with this man and being through addiction together and going, you know, and all these things, like we're ready to have babies.
Yes.
You
Yes.
guys, we are just in this place where things are moving forward and nothing has been super stressful. It's just been fun. So
Good.
that's
Good.
been the best
Good.
part about it.
And
Good.
you guys deserve that so much because, like you said, you've gone through literal
Some
hell
hell.
and back
Mhm.
to be able to do these things. That's awesome. And
Mhm.
to be able to both, I mean, really, that's one thing. You said it about the wedding, and I know it's something within all of what you do. Blake isn't just your fiance and soon to be husband. He's your partner in all of this.
Mhm.
We've seen
Absolutely.
that many times where
Mhm.
he's just as strong a pillar when you're not as strong.
Mhm.
That I think that's pretty cool. I wish we could get to your wedding, but we already had
We
something
still
planned that
no,
weekend.
no, we're still going. We still have it on the
Which one?
possible. I still have to let her know.
Okay.
Side note,
Yeah.
everyone, we've been invited as
I
well.
didn't
We just haven't made it happen yet. It's just one of those
get that.
things of like buying tickets and all that. We're just like trying to figure it out. But anyway,
Mhm.
I want to.
we definitely want to be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
My brain went blank. I was
I
like,
would
what's
just
next?
move on from there. What,
Yeah.
like, how did you guys build that type of partnership? Because I know Dawn and I have a similar partnership, but it's hard to explain to other people how you build that, how you keep that, and how you keep
Mhm.
that steady without actually going after each other and going to war every day.
Actually, that's a really good point
Yeah.
because so we've been together for 7 years. 2 of those years were addiction. He's been
Mhm.
clean for 5 years now. But what's crazy is to me, it's almost like he's only been clean for like 2 years
Hmm.
because my brain was so used to the chaos and so
Yes.
used to the depression and the sadness and the anger that I had. So, for a couple of years after he got clean, I was doing a lot of work to
Mm.
become my better self because Blake had actually sat me down one day and was like, and I think I said this in my last podcast, that you're holding me back. I wouldn't let him get a job after he got
Mm.
clean because I was like,
Ah,
you are not leaving my sight.
yeah,
Like,
Mm. Yep.
and he
Yep.
was like, and we fought about it for weeks. And this was after we moved to Tennessee away from our whole family. So I was terrified for him to leave the house at all. And he
yes,
Yeah.
sat me down one day and he was like, Sydney, you are holding me back from being the best version that I can be because you're scared. And
Mm.
something went off in me. And I knew in that moment that I was either going to push him away or I was going to bring him closer to me. And I had two options. I could either continue yelling, screaming, doing the things that I was doing out of my own fear and anger, or I could
Mhm.
allow him to live his life and see if he was serious about what he was telling me, that he was done and
Yeah.
that he didn't want to do that anymore and he wanted to be a family and be the best man that he could be. And when I gave him that opportunity, everything changed. And
yeah,
so I think the biggest thing is listening. Like,
Yes.
you have to really understand what your partner is saying. And I'm somebody that I naturally can get defensive when it comes to
Mm.
people
yep,
I love,
yep.
especially. Like, someone tells me, like, hey, you need to calm down. I'm like, excuse
Oh,
Oh,
me.
I'll show you
So
not
then,
calm.
yeah, exactly. But with Blake, there's a certain part with both of us that in the moment we might be like, yeah, whatever.
Yep,
But
Yep.
we are the type of people where as soon as we separate and we have that 5 minutes to think, we're like, shit, he was right.
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
And
Yep.
I can't do that with everybody. Like, I'm just being
yes,
honest. But for some reason, me and Blake can really just do that together. And I truly believe like that's why we will be together forever because
Mhm.
we can constantly take the things that are hard to talk about, the things that that make us feel like we're struggling. And instead of butting heads against it, even if we don't agree, we can listen to what each other's
Yes.
saying and understand each other to move
Yes.
forward.
Yes.
yes,
And that's exactly what marriage is. Having a strong ground to stand on that's like, well, when shit gets hard, because shit gets hard all
yep,
the time, it's life. Like, how are we going to handle it as a couple? And just
Yes.
listening to understand where the other person
yes,
is coming from and like not taking offense if they're feeling a certain way about you or a situation, because it's oftentimes not you. It's like, it's just
Hmm.
the situation in itself
I
or,
think that's an amazing key. And
yeah.
the one piece within communication that most people lack is the listening and active
Yes.
listening, caring listening, giving a shit. Like, hey, I can take,
Intimate. Yeah.
and I think you can feel the same. I can take a dagger from her Dawn because I know she's not throwing it out of anger.
Mhm.
She's going,
Mhm.
hey, I really love you, but if you just fix that one little part, we could be amazing. And I
Yeah.
think that's the journey that you guys have gone down that.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. 100%. That's exactly what we've done. Yeah.
And I would say props to you for starting your journey with sobriety and all of that, because though we can't change our partner or anybody around it, they need to do it themselves. You influenced that by just modeling the behavior first.
Yes.
So props to you. I just want to give you, I know
Yes.
we've talked
Thank
about your
you.
sobriety before, but like that really is huge. Like you showed him what's possible so that he could do it too. And you didn't pressure him and stuff. I'm sure there was pressure at some point, but like
Oh, yeah.
in the end, you let him have his journey. And that's pretty,
Yes.
so.
I just had a thought that I think might blow your mind just a little bit.
Hmm.
Maybe you don't understand, but the point of him sitting you down and saying, hey, I need you to actually listen, when you released him, you not only gave him his best self, you gave you the time and less worry and less stress to be able to become your best self. This is
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
amazing journey, and none of this is out of the realm of possibility for anybody listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Agreed.
self-determination, discipline, and intent.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
you killed it. You guys are an unbelievable story to just kind of watch unfold.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so what's next? Okay, so you're getting married. Then what else? What else is going on?
Because there's another big
Okay.
thing you haven't told us yet, right?
Yeah. So yesterday, I actually just announced that me and Blake are buying a farm.
Yay!
And
It's so beautiful.
you guys, let me just explain this for a
Yeah,
second.
tell us why a farm. What's your whole dream here?
Yeah, so Blake coming from New Orleans, this might surprise some people. I currently live on land. We have horses, the things. But it's kind of funny because when me and Blake first started dating, he immediately moved in with me out in the country, and he grew up a little bit in Mississippi out in the country where his
Okay.
grandparents lived. So he
Yeah.
had that taste of that life, but his parents quickly moved him to literal smack dab New Orleans. Um,
Hmm.
when he was, I want to say 6 or 7. So
Okay.
Okay.
so he had kind of a little bit of those both worlds, but coming from that addiction and just that space he was in when we first moved, I think that he was very stuck in wanting like a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
And as we continued to grow in our relationship, it was so cool to like watch Blake's dreams kind of shift a little bit.
Yeah.
And we moved back to Wisconsin, and our dreams just started to kind of unfold. We started to talk together about what do we really want, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
living with my parents right now and we have a lot of space, a ton of acreage. We never step on each other's toes, but we've kind of gotten to that point. We have 2 kids. We've gotten to that point where we really have always wanted like a family compound, but we honestly didn't think it was going to happen. Okay, you guys, this in today's economy, like
All right.
buying 50 acres of land
Yeah.
is actually like impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's insane. And we've looked for years. Like we've
Yeah.
not like looked, but we've
Right.
checked around, looked
Yeah.
around, did our manifest and all the things.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of one of those things where it's been like, gosh, we're gonna have to really like step up or like do like we're gonna have to invent something like
Right?
Yes.
like we're gonna
I know
have
the
to
feeling.
figure something out
Yeah.
here in order to get to where we want to be.
Yep.
But we just kept talking about it, and with my parents too. It was just one of those dreams that just we never kind of let die. The
Yeah.
past 10 years we've really been talking about it every now and then here and there, but the past 2 years we've really been like, this is what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we didn't think we were going to get this for the next like 10 years. Like me and Blake were thinking we were going to kind of like move into our own space, maybe a little closer to town for a few years, a house that was like kind of new-ish, and then sell that and then
Yep.
maybe go out into the country when we were ready. That was kind of our plan.
Yeah.
Well, about a month ago, my parents were searching, as we always do, just kind of looking here and there at land, and my mom just joined an EMT and firefighter group in a town called Farmington, which is about 6 minutes from where we live now.
Uh,
Yep.
Farmington, right? So crazy. So
Yeah.
So
Yes.
she started doing that there, and she met some really awesome people on her squad. And one of the guys just happened to say, "Hey, my mom is old. She's going to be moving. She needs a space. She can't take care of this house and this farm anymore. All of us older kids have left, have our own kids. We're doing
Yeah.
our own thing. We can't take care of this place anymore. And we're looking to sell it." And so my parents were like, "Well, let us go look." And it's about 30 acres. And they went and looked at it once and asked me and Blake if we wanted to look at the house. And so me and Blake were like,
Well,
might
yep.
as well. It wasn't what we were thinking. We weren't really thinking of like a
Yeah.
remodel, fix it up type house, but we were
Yeah.
like, let's go look at it.
Yeah.
We walked through it literally one time before we weren't even allowed to go back till it was closed on yesterday. So we literally seen it one time before we
Woo.
like
Oh my gosh.
officialized everything. But we walked through it once, and me and Blake just started to have visions like
Yeah.
Mhm.
popping up of like us working in this kitchen, us working in this bathroom. Like, we've been together for 7 years. We're finally getting married. And I know that there's wedding blues too, because I have heard it a
Yes.
Yes.
million times.
Yes.
And I've been working towards this for 7 years. So I know for a fact
The
that I'm
blues
going to
will
have
come.
some, yeah, that I'm going to be down after the wedding, right? But I feel like God was just like, no, I'm going to give
I'm
you
not gonna let
another
you be down.
project so you can keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, you guys. The house, me and Blake
Ah,
decided we want to buy. My parents said, if you don't want to buy this, we can definitely turn it and sell it to somebody else and make
yep.
way more
Yeah.
money than you guys buying it from us. So
Yeah.
me and Blake were like, nope, we want the house. We want to do this. And then we'll see, where it goes from there. But you guys,
Oh
we
my
are so
gosh.
excited. We're getting chickens, we're getting goats. My kids are ecstatic. They got to go pick out their bedrooms yesterday.
Oh,
Aw,
Um,
that's
we
so
are
exciting.
I cannot wait to like do a walkthrough and show videos of this old farmhouse and just show
Yes.
what we're about to turn it into. It's gonna
So
be
when do you
so
get to
amazing.
move?
So now that it is ours, we can officially start moving things in if we wanted to, but we got to look at the foundation looked at to make
yep.
sure the remodeling we're doing isn't going to go to waste.
Yeah, we don't want to screw it
And
up.
yeah, that would suck. So we got to look at the foundation, and then we're going to do some remodeling before we get in there. So that's also been a blessing, is we actually get this opportunity to be able to live here, work at the house there for a little bit, and then all of us are going to pick up and move out. And my parents are actually going to live in a camper for 6 to 9 months while they
Okay.
build their own house.
Oh,
Ah,
nice.
So, yeah, this
Oh,
is
I
just
love
like
it.
literally, you guys, I have had so many dreams of my kids being able to drive their four-wheeler over to their grandma and grandpa's house for dinner, and vice versa. My dad coming over to our house and knocking on the door, "Hey, I need this. Hey, I need that."
Yeah.
They ain't getting rid of me now. Like, this is a forever this is a
It's so
forever
funny you're
type of
saying
thing.
that. I'm like, I love my family, but I don't want them around me like that.
I mean, and that's
It's
great.
opposite for me.
If that was your original dream, it's
Yeah.
amazing to
Well,
see it
Blake is
actually
the
come
same
true.
way. So
Blake's like, I don't need my parents
Yeah.
next door.
Blake's like, "I'll live next to your fam." But
Yeah.
we've grown, my parents also have gone through addiction. So I don't know if I
Okay, yeah.
mentioned that to you
I don't
guys, but
remember if you
my
did either.
dad,
Yeah.
yeah, so my dad is actually a recovering addict. He got clean. After I got clean, my dad
Oh.
actually admitted that he had a problem snorting muscle relaxers and nobody knew.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This was
Dang.
like years and years of addiction that my dad was going through with opiates that
Wow.
nobody knew about. And after I got clean and went to treatment, granted, I was a little upset because I felt like he was a hypocrite because he was the one making me go to treatment. But
I mean, true, but
after that, he told me that because of me being able to do the things that he didn't know if I was going to be able to do,
Yeah.
he
yeah.
decided he needed to come clean and get help, and he did. And so my
That's
mom and
awesome.
dad have kind of gone through the same thing that me and Blake have gone through. And so for us it's like, and you know I don't know, I just, because growing up we did not have that relationship. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
were very much so a yelling household, fighting,
Yeah.
screaming. Like,
Yeah.
I think what led me to my addiction is feeling so misunderstood growing up. I
Mm.
truly felt so misunderstood. Like I self-harmed, I struggled with depression, anxiety,
Mhm.
all of these things before my addiction. I didn't even use till I was 18 and I left my house.
Yes.
So it was kind of like that sense of like freedom and like getting to do what I want. And I took it way too far. But having that relationship with them now, I truly believe is because of us going through similar things. And
Yes.
my
Yeah.
mom is literally my best friend now. Like I sit with her at the end of the night. I told Blake the other day, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing because me and my mom have like a routine where like we watch TV before we go to bed and like we hang out and Blake's always like texting me, he's like, are you gonna come up now? I'm like, now we're moving. So now I'm gonna soak up this time. Thank you very
Yep.
much. But
Yeah.
no, it's just
You're gonna be
great.
close to each other though, so
Yeah.
who's to say
Right?
she still won't come over?
It just be a four-wheeler ride away.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly. Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
what I
been
want
great.
to ask you is, and like this was kind of maybe covered with what he had asked you, but like, what's like the biggest lesson you've
Yeah.
learned in the last 2 years that you could tell somebody right now? Like, biggest thing that kind of comes
Ooh,
to your mind.
that you can literally do anything. That
Okay.
anything you set your mind to, you can do. And I feel like that's so cliche to the point where like I don't even want to say it
I
because
know.
Well, we can
I've
break down
heard
that
that.
cliche in a minute.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
help you with
I've heard that a million times.
Right.
Okay, like I've heard it a million times. I've heard just believe in yourself, just believe in yourself, pray about it, work for it. And it's like so many times I've heard that I've just rolled my eyes because it's like
Yeah.
that.
I can't
Yeah.
believe in myself right now any more than I do. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Yes.
it just
Yeah.
felt like consuming, but it's true. It
Mhm.
really is true. Like if you believe that you can have those things, whether you believe you can have them today, in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, if you believe that you can have those things, they will happen.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah. What were you
Okay,
gonna say?
so my way to break that down is exactly that. If a listener is sitting here and they said they've done the same thing you would have done, oh, you can do anything you want. Okay. They roll their eyes. What I want you to do is kind of give them a little bit of the process. How did you do that? I know what you're describing right now is the manifesting piece. And that's
Hmm.
a big main piece, but there's other portions to that that actually solidify that belief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your process when you were doing that?
So for me personally, and I know this isn't for everyone, I really dove into my faith.
Yeah.
I really so a year and a half ago, I believe, is when me and Megan started Bible study. And so every
Mhm.
Monday night, we actually involve our work, but then we also involve our friends. So, like, I have a couple of best friends that don't do the business with me that show up on Monday nights and do Bible study with us. And I think honestly, I think leading the Bible study is what had helped me because when I first started this Bible study, I did not feel equipped. I felt very
Right.
like
Yep.
I'm not a teacher, I'm not a
Mhm.
mentor, I didn't go to school for this. I like
Right?
don't want to
Yeah.
mess up like the Bible is very, a very
I
specific thing.
don't
I
wanna
didn't want
mess
to
up the
mess that
Bible.
up. Right. And so like I was very nervous to
Mhm.
run this and I didn't feel equipped. I didn't feel like I deserved to share this because I can't tell you like I'm not the type of Bible girly that can like be reading through John and be like, oh, by the way, in Mark 07,
Yeah.
like this
Yes.
will
No.
connect. Like I've never been that girly. I'm
Mhm.
ADHD AF. Like for me to
Yes.
even read and understand what I'm reading is very like that's a good thing. So I think for me, doing something I felt I wasn't equipped for and showing up every single Monday, I felt more and more equipped. I felt
Mhm.
more and more like people were getting stuff out of it. They were messaging me
Yeah.
after. They were, giving us shout outs. They're, all the things. And I'm watching other people's lives transform too as we're doing this. And it kind of reminded me of when I was a sponsor, when I was going through
Mhm.
my recovery community.
Mhm.
Because I was essentially helping people kind of find what works for them. And we've had people who come to Bible study and then leave, and I still have relationships with them. It's nothing like
Yep.
that. It's very much just so a community where we want to just be better.
Mhm.
And we just listen to the Bible to do that. And so for me, I think doing something that I didn't feel that I was equipped to do really pushed me because like leading with Ariel, because of my last company, I did feel equipped to be a leader. I
Mhm.
Yeah.
did feel
Mhm.
equipped to be on stage, even though it was my first time. I felt like I had kind of earned those things.
Yeah.
As to where with this, I felt very like,
Fish out of
I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
how it felt. So I think for me that's what it was just doing things that I didn't feel like I was equipped to doing, and then
Yeah.
finding out that, you know what, the things that I thought I wasn't doing a good job at, or I didn't feel like I should do this, I'm actually helping people grow in their own journeys, which is helping me grow in my journey.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
That's huge. That relates to you're helping me while we're talking here, because that feels like where I'm at with my own coaching, where it feels like,
Hmm.
okay, maybe I'm not really equipped to do this. And your encouragement here is one that's like, okay, maybe I am. I'm fully equipped to do
Mhm.
this, and I just need to do it. I
Mhm.
appreciate
Right. And I think that's where like the enemy gets us too, right? Is telling us we're not equipped. And like that's
Mhm.
the thing is I realized that I am equipped to do this. It was just my thought process that was telling me I wasn't. So then when I got through that blockage, you can
Yes.
imagine the other blockages that started to kind of go away, because it
Yes.
Yes.
was like, well, if I felt unequipped to do that, but other people are benefiting from it, then what other things have I said no to that I'm
Yeah.
actually probably very equipped to do for somebody
Yes.
else?
Yes. I'm proud of you because, like, taking that
Yeah.
first step of like faith over fear really is how we push past the comfort zone. And it sounds like you were maybe
Yes.
living in a comfort zone for a little while. And that's
Oh,
why
for sure.
you just weren't growing.
Yeah.
So as soon as you started to push yourself out of your comfort zone, that's when the growth started. So super proud of you for that. That's
Thank you.
I
amazing.
didn't know I was gonna get a little bit of therapy from Sydney this morning, but thank you. I appreciate that. Jeez.
Anytime.
Okay. Well, what's the next part? What you want to
I don't know.
like pause?
I know, I'm like, I
You're
feel like I talked about everything.
yeah.
This has
That
been
was
such like a beautiful podcast. Like, I'm just like, everything's good right now. Like, everything's
That's really good.
Okay.
good.
It makes me so happy to hear that. Like the 2 years, it's not like 2 years ago you were like in a bad place
Right.
either. You were also good there. So
Yeah,
it's just so interesting probably to hear yourself back and be
it
like,
is.
oh,
It is so crazy because I felt like I was telling Dawn and Kyle before I hopped on here, 2 years ago, I was listening to the podcast and I felt so like I was so confident. Like you could tell that I was confident in
yes.
Yes.
that podcast, which great, awesome. But it's like I was confident, but now I'm even more confident. And that's kind of what you were saying, Dawn, is I was in a good place, but I didn't
Yeah.
realize how much better it was about
Yes.
to get.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think I think there's something to be said right there
Right
in,
there. That's
hey, you can be comfortable, but are you complacent?
mhm.
Mm,
Because complacency will kill you, and it'll keep you in a spot that you don't want to be in the first place. So why don't you
mm,
just push a little further
Yep.
out of that comfort zone and get amazing?
And start
Because
believing that you're worthy of what you want. I think
yes.
that's that place you had to get to is like, I'm worthy of this, dream and I'm going to have it. And I've had dreams the same where I'm like, why do I think I can't do that? I'm worthy. If that girl could do it, I can do it. Instead of getting
Hmm.
jealous, I got inspired by other people.
you just gave me an idea.
Oh, what?
Sydney, I want to put you on the spot again, can I?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Because we're doing all this and how confident you are, I want you to future cast. Why don't you talk
Ooh.
to the person who we're going to speak to maybe 2 years from now, the next Sydney that we
Sydney
speak
that
to,
we
the
speak to.
CEO Sydney or whoever that is.
Okay, so I wow, this is crazy because I'm sitting in a place where I'm kind of in the middle of a dream where I feel like I might not have gotten to this point. So, thinking forward, where I see myself is I see myself tapping into the financial aspect. I
Okay.
think that leaving my last company with such a comfortable income and
Mm-hmm.
starting completely over was something that I took lighter than I think I should have. Not that I wouldn't make the same choice again because I a million times would. What I realized through that process is money doesn't make you happy. I was very,
Correct.
very,
Yes.
very
Mhm.
miserable when I was making the
Yeah.
most money I ever had.
Yep.
With that being said, I also think that put me in a place to be a little bit scared of finances, a little
Yeah.
bit nervous of having money and what that could do to our family because
Mm,
the last time I had money, it was not helping us. It was
mhm.
Yes.
completely hurting us. So I see myself tapping into that millionaire mindset. I
Yeah.
think now that the other things that I've been manifesting have been put in my face and put in place, I think that God is telling me that this is your moment. Like, this is your time to start thinking about the finances. How are you going to utilize this new thing that I've given you for content? How are you going
Yeah.
to utilize this to build other people's dreams and to show them that it's possible? Because I didn't even think it was possible, and now it's happening to me. So
Yes.
really, one of my biggest goals since joining Ariel was to make one $30,000 paycheck in 1 month. I haven't
Yes.
done that yet. That is still my goal. Before, it felt like it was kind of like a flashy dream. Like, it was like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's there, but
Yep.
is it really going to happen? That's kind of how I thought about the farm,
Yep.
right? But
Yep.
now that
Yep.
this has happened and played out, now I'm looking at that $30,000 paycheck as like that can definitely
That's
happen. I
definitely
just
Yeah.
have to work
happening.
Oh, yeah.
towards it.
That'll be a low paycheck.
Yeah. Yes, and that's what it's
Yes.
so yes, I think I'm going to be tapping into that millionaire mindset and making a shit ton of money.
And I believe you will too,
Absolutely.
100%, especially just watching what you've done in the last couple years and like what you did before that. Like, I 100% believe you will be a mogul along with me
Yep.
on that
Woo!
stage, making them millions, baby. 100%. Because your content is amazing. Like,
It
every
is.
time I look at your stories, I'm like, damn, I need to do that. That's really good. Like, I'm always taking screenshots of your stuff because I'm like, God, her stuff is just so good. Like,
Oh,
so 100%. You should join Sydney if you want to
Yeah.
join a really good leader. She's amazing.
Yes.
thank you
What
guys.
else? You got anything
I
else
mean,
for Sydney? You
that,
got anything you want to wrap up?
Man, I just hope that, if people listen to this whole thing, I hope that they understand that this has been something that I've worked towards and prayed for 10 years. Like,
Mhm.
I
Important to say.
yeah, I remember just being in the middle of my addiction 10 years ago and not feeling like I would ever make it out, right? Like, stealing, I talked about this in the last podcast, stealing chicken sandwiches to be able to eat because I was
yep.
literally starving. I wouldn't eat for over a week, and I would
Mhm.
literally have to steal to be able to eat. And going from that to truly watching my life transform in 10 years, I think the thing is as humans, we're very like black and white and want things to happen now.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
even if 3 years go by and we're working hard towards something, it's like, gosh, like, I've been doing this for 3 years. When is this going to pay off?
Yeah.
Well, you just got to keep going.
Yeah.
10 years of prayer, of failing, of working hard, of giving up on myself and then picking myself back up. And, it's been a whole roller coaster. It hasn't been sunshine and rainbows for probably less than 50% of it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
The healing
been
process
more
is really
hardship.
painful and ugly,
It's
guys. It's not fun to go
Yes.
through, but man, the other side is a lot better.
1,000%. So that's just what I want to say is, if you're in the middle of that place where you're listening to this and you're feeling like, like, yeah, like, I kind of feel like I want those things, but like maybe I'm not going to get them. You probably listen to the Feel Good podcasts all the time, but
Mhm.
really take a second to listen and hear that this was not an easy road. This was not an easy journey. So if you're in
Mhm.
the middle of the hardship right now, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay to be in
yes.
Part of the
hardship.
journey.
It is. It truly is part of the journey, and you
Yeah.
will get through it
And I
as
would
long as
say,
you're working towards getting through it.
yeah, yes.
Yes.
And I would say if you have this dream, don't let it die. Like, there's a
Mm-mm.
reason
Yes.
that was placed in your head and it keeps coming back up in your belly and like you
Yep.
can't stop dreaming about it. Like, there's a reason. You have a purpose. So like, don't lose sight of that. Like,
And
he
own
said
it.
he wanted to speak since, I mean, we've been married 15 years
Yep.
now this month, and he started talking about speaking like year one.
Yep.
Someday I'm going to be a speaker, and it's been all sorts of different kinds of speakers along the year. He used to think he wanted to be a pastor. Like, he literally
Yeah.
always wanted to be a speaker and do something together, and we always were like, okay, I don't know what that's going to be. Well, he spoke on stage at our
Yep.
convention. Like,
He
that
did an
was,
amazing job.
Thank you.
Literally
Thank you.
touched so many people. Blake
yeah.
too. Like, Blake was like,
Aw,
I needed to hear that. That is amazing. Like, you spoke to so many men too, which I think is so
yes.
important. I just
Yes.
wanted to
And
say
so
that because
that's all what
Thank
I'm
you.
saying is like there was something, a fire in his belly
Yep.
that he never gave up on. And like, and so I would just, agree with you. If there's a
Yep.
dream, don't give up just because it's hard. Like, find another way around that mountain. Like, if there's a mountain in your way, just find another road, like
Build
yes.
a tunnel, man.
there's so many avenues, so many ways around everything. So
Yes.
heal through it and find a good
Yes.
support system around you. If you need therapy, find therapy, you know, you
Yes.
don't have to do it alone.
I'm telling you, if you're listening to this podcast right now and you didn't maybe shed a little tears, have a smile, and actually dig into yourself, you need to re-listen to it.
Check your
And if
heartbeat.
you did get something out of this, do us all a favor. Share this out. Share
Yeah.
Sydney's story, because I think a lot of people need to hear this and need to know that even in the dark spot they're in, they can still thrive and excel.
Mm-hmm.
Share this. Leave us a 5-star review. Go follow Sydney's social
Socials, we'll have them
media
all down in the show notes.
and see what an artist she is.
Yeah.
And how amazing she has built this life into be.
And I cannot wait to watch the next couple years, and then maybe I'll be back in 2 years for the next.
Yay! Thank you guys so much for having me on.
We love you. All right, pause. We'll do our send off. So we'll do 3, 2, 1, and then we say bye, buddies. You can do that with us. Okay.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Bye,
Bye,
buddies.
buddies.
I love it.
Yay.
Thank you, Sydney.
Pause.
Yay.